folks, it's Jeff here. Just a quick reminder, if you're loving Disney Coast to Coast, there are a couple of easy ways that you can support the show. We'd love it if you could rate and review us on iTunes, or wherever you listen to the show. This is a simple way to help other Disney fans find us. Also, go ahead and share your favorite episodes on social media and be sure to tag us. You can find all of our social media information at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. And finally, I just want to say thank you to all of you who listen every week. Your support is very appreciated, and we love that you're enjoying our Disney geekiness. Now on with the show.
Do you dream of fairies and princesses? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli.
And I'm Tracy Hines.
Tracy Hines, you're here, so we got some Princess to talk about, of course. I gotta tell you, I'm really enjoying this process because it's making me go back and see these films I haven't seen in years and really pay attention to them. And I'm like discovering things that I'm like, oh wow, all right, cool.
I mean, it's the best homework ever.
Yeah, so let's get into it right now.
Welcome to Princess Pondering.
So Tracy, who are we talking about today?
Princess Lady Tremaine.
No. No. She is, would she have been a queen? No, they weren't royal.
I mean, she has
at
a very
all.
queenly, evil queenly
She was
air.
evil, that's all.
I mean, we're talking about Cinderella.
Today's Cinderella, and this one is classic, starts with the storybook opening, just like Snow White. But this one has a bit of interesting history, because this one, like Snow White, had to be a hit, but became that in a very different way, because the company was like losing so much money because of just the cost of making these films. And, you know, a lot of them that are classics today, like Pinocchio, like Fantasia, lost a ton of money during their first runs. So Cinderella really had to be it, or that could have been the end of Walt Disney Animation.
Right, so she's the princess that saved Disney, kind of, right? At least at the time.
And it's interesting because, like, the same way Snow White did with the painstaking process of making this film and spending so much time and money and going over budget and all that stuff, they couldn't do that with Cinderella. So it was interesting because they shot a lot of the film live action and some of the animation was traced.
That's so cool, though. Like, I really love that about it.
It's cool, and but also, like, was really difficult for the animators who felt like their, you know, the artistic integrity was being removed from the process. So it's just interesting to me that, like, had to be a hit, became a massive hit for them, but was done in a, like, kind of the complete opposite way of Snow White, which was the hit. So it's interesting to me. But in any case, let's talk Cinderella and start off with some of our favorite scenes and moments, straying away from music at this point. But
you make it so hard on me.
It's not that hard. This one actually has a ton, in my opinion, that I'm just like, oh my goodness, that's so good. So anything that pops in your mind?
You're killing me, because the most iconic things to me happen during
music.
Like the transformation of, you know, when she transforms from rags into her ball gown.
Sure.
It's still kind of during, it's, you know, it's right after music, right?
Yeah.
It's right after Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. So, you know.
Sure, that works though.
But that'd probably be my, like, main one. And I love, well, you're not going to like it though.
What?
I love Sing Sweet Nightingale, like when she's, not just the song, the moment in the scene. And
the bubbles sequence?
Yeah, the bubble sequence, but I also love how she gets a little sassy at the end when she's like, should I interrupt music practice? Like her little, like, one eyebrow, like, music practice.
Yeah. If that's
I forget the exact line, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I love the reveal of the evil stepmother. Not the reveal, not the first time you see her, but the time when Cinderella goes to see her in the bedroom.
When she kind of comes out of the shadow. Yeah.
This is such a great moment that's, like, really kind of creepy. She's in complete darkness. All you really see are her eyes, and then as Cinderella gets closer, they reveal her, and then she's just, like, petting Lucifer. Like, it's
I love Lucifer.
Do you? I hate Lucifer.
Well, I hated him as a kid. I was so angry because I love cats. And so I was like, why is the good one the dog and the bad one is a cat? Now I'm like, he's such a cat. He is a cat.
Lucifer is really a pain. Like really, really mean. What's the dog's name? Bruno?
Bruno, yeah.
Lucifer is evil to Bruno. Now, an interesting thing about the stepmother is it was voiced by She was voiced by Eleanor Audley, who was also, do you know who?
Maleficent.
Maleficent,
right?
yes. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Did she do others too, or was it just Maleficent?
I think those are the two most famous. I'm sure she'd done
I feel like she's done other characters too, but I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, those are the two big ones, I believe. So, like, I don't know, that character, when you say it, I'm like, oh yeah, that totally sounds like Maleficent.
Yep.
But, man, she is evil on her own. That close-up shot of her, what's the moment? Oh, I can't even remember. They do a close-up shot and that like zooms into her eyes.
The same scene or later?
No, later.
When she locks her away.
That's what it might be, the lock. Yeah.
She's just like Mother Gothel. Like, she's so manipulative. And it's just so sad how she is with her daughters, because it's like in the scene where Cinderella comes out and she's rushing to get to the ball and she's in her pink dress that, all her mice friends and her, the birds' forest friends help make. And she comes out and, the girls didn't realize right away that she was wearing their stuff. The mother, Lady Tremaine, like, points it out, and she was like, Drizella, don't those pearls give it just the right touch, and that's what launches them into ripping her apart, literally, and she puts all that into action and just fosters this, like, evil,
She's very manipulative.
Like, yeah. So bad. Bad mother.
Bad mother.
Shame on you.
There was something else I was going to say about her. Oh my goodness, what was it? I'm blanking. But
she's got that great updo, though.
She's really
a nice Gibson girl.
You like that? You like that look? Nice. She's
very fashionable.
Is that your next cosplay? You're going to be Lady Tremaine?
I wasn't planning on it, but like, you never know. You never know.
You'll eventually run out of characters, and you're like, I guess I'll be Lady Tremaine. I don't know.
I mean, why not? She's pretty great.
Yeah. Another character I absolutely love, and this really comes down to the vocal performance, is the fairy godmother.
Aww,
oh my goodness.
She's amazing.
She's like the sweetest. I'm just like, this woman's amazing. And that is performed by Verna Felton, who interestingly enough died the day before Walt Disney.
Oh no.
Well, it was a long time ago.
No, but
it was December.
That is interesting, though.
December 14th of 1966. But here's the crazy thing. So we think fairy godmother. We think absolutely loving, beautiful human. Guess who else she voiced?
The Queen of Hearts?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I thought it was the Queen of Hearts.
Maybe that's not the one
Maybe I had it messed up.
Maybe now I'm curious who the Queen. No, she was Mrs. Jumbo in Dumbo.
I think she was also the Queen of Hearts.
Quite possibly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I should look that up. But yeah.
I
know. She's so good.
Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, she can do evil and she can do sweet. Like, really, really, really sweet. I love the fairy godmother.
An amazing voice actor for you.
I wish she was my fairy godmother.
She has my favorite line in the whole movie. And I feel like I'm going to get it messed up right now. But what is it? Even miracles take a little time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I just love it so much.
She's really not in much of it either. She makes such a huge impression on the viewer. Mm-hmm. But if it's really just that whole Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo sequence, right?
Like, kids love magic, though. Look at Anna and Elsa, and for some reason, Elsa's just shot up to the... I love Anna, but we'll get into that another day.
I feel like most people actually prefer Anna at this point. Maybe it's maybe not kids. I was gonna say, I guess it's just the adults that kind of like are like, oh, Elsa's annoying, but Anna's cool.
I'm talking like strictly like kid viewing. Yeah. I feel like when you throw some magic in there,
I would agree.
It's it really makes an impact in. Yeah.
You had mentioned the whole Sing Sweet Nightingale sequence. I do love the bubbles.
I love it so much, and the vocals. So
yeah.
Did you read this also that Walt used multiple vocal tracks?
And it was one of the first times.
Was it the first time or was it?
That's what they say, but who really knows? But yeah, supposedly it was the first time that they did this whole thing where there were same singer, multiple tracks, and she's singing harmony with herself.
Yeah, so cool.
So basically, the Walt Disney Studios created the pop music of today. That's what we're getting at. 'Cause,
for real, though, they paved the way.
Yeah. But the whole bubble sequence there is so, like, that's just one of those things where I feel like they went beyond where they really needed to, because I feel like most filmmakers would have just been like, okay, it's this great song and it will propel the story along, but they were like, let's do reflections and bubbles just to make our lives more difficult, So
yeah, it's really beautiful,
And do you have any other moments that you absolutely love? I have a whole list here.
So I know there's like so many. I love this movie. This was when I was a little kid. I think like this was my favorite for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I think she was, it's really hard to say, but there was a point in time when she was my favorite. And I saw a lot of like who I wanted to be in Cinderella. And so the whole movie is like very precious to me, you know, and it's so nostalgic for me. I really love the stepsisters. I hate them and I love to hate them.
Yeah.
But I love their music lesson. I mean, it's kind of the same scene. Like,
Sing, sweet nightingale, right?
beautiful.
You like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But Anastasia, like, talk about next cosplay. I wish, man, with that red hair.
Yeah.
But no, I really like that scene, and gosh, I mean everything. It's when she meets the prince, like when they waltz and when they sing "So This Is Love."
So This Is Love is so good. We'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah, all the musical like parts are really what speak to me.
I love Gus Gus.
He's so cute.
And I love the moment when they reveal the dress that the mice have all just made. And and Gus Gus goes, happy birthday.
Yeah.
That is like one of my that's a laugh out loud moment for me, like every time. He's just so stupid.
He's so
I love
cute.
it.
I love Jack too.
Jack's awesome.
Jack was my favorite as a kid. I
Yeah.
really liked him.
Jack's like the cool kid.
And he's the one that's kind of like, he's like leading the force.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys, we're gonna help Cinderella. Well, it's Susie. She's the one that says, let's make her dress, right?
Ooh, I think it's one of the girls. Yeah,
is it
Susie or Perla.
Or Perla. Yeah, but one of them is the one. We're gonna do it. We can do it. You know. And we can do it.
Yeah.
So cute.
They
They sound so chipmunky too.
They do. The two girls sound very much like the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Another great moment or sequence is the midnight stroke. Oh my goodness, when you watch that, like as an adult, the way that that's edited together and just like the flashing back and forth to the clock, I was like, whoa, this is so cool and beautiful. I absolutely love this. And
her slipper is so beautiful too. Like when they show the close-ups of the slipper, like it's so pretty. I want it.
Now I caught something watching it this time that I never really picked up on before. And I kind of like it because, I mean, of course, with these older Disney animated films, a lot of people have the argument, oh, these women are helpless and they just fall in love with beautiful guys the first moment they see them and all this stuff. I love the fact that in this, when she realized, oh, it's almost midnight, I have to go. And she says to the prince, oh, I haven't met the prince. And he's like, didn't you know? I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, so she's not as shallow as it seems she might be. Because she doesn't even know she's met the prince yet.
But like a little dense though.
Little dense, but it gets swept up in the moment.
No. But I mean, like, look at what he's wearing, and like the seas like part for him, and it's like really. But
maybe it was just a West Side Story moment where like it seemed like the seas parted, but it didn't really.
That's true. No, I would be that person though. I'm literally like, I'm naturally blonde, and I'm like that version of the blonde. So I'd be like, what? Really?
But really, had you ever picked up on that moment before? Because I had never noticed that she didn't know it was the prince.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if I did when I was a kid.
It's been years since I'd watched this, like a long time.
I mean, I've studied this movie, you know. I mean, I feel like as an adult, I've watched it so many times, you know. But I feel like I don't know if I noticed as a kid, but I've noticed for a while, like the past, you know, couple years watching it and stuff. It's like every time I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Get it together, Cindy.
But it is cool. I never thought of it like that. I thought of it like, oh, she's really not paying attention, but that's sweet that she's not in it for that.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
I love that.
Now for what may be my favorite moment, non-musical moment in the film is the glass slipper reveal at the end when they're trying it on the different girls and it breaks.
Yeah.
And Cinderella's, what does she say? She says, like, well, would this help? Or I have the other one. Whatever she says, she pulls out the slipper and shows it. And oh my God, Lady Tremaine just about has a heart attack. Like, it's such a great moment.
It is so good. It's like she gets her sweet revenge.
Oh
you
my
know?
God, it is sassy. Like Cinderella's like, well,
she's a little sassy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I like it. She's like very subtly. It's in there, but catch it.
Yeah, I love that moment, the reveal of her having the other slipper. I think
that's such a great one.
Great.
But I'm always this was also me like with, you know, other cartoons like Sailor Moon and things when I'm like, Why wouldn't he recognize her? If he's this in love with her and he spent the whole night dancing with her,
he was in love with the dress, that's all.
Really, though? Like, I've never really liked...
But the prince isn't even there.
Well,
when they're trying on the slippers.
Right, but like, come on, dude. Like, go look. Yeah.
That is annoying that it's like, well, clearly she wasn't a redhead. So, like, we can get rid of all those girls regardless of whether or not...
I know, right? It's like, I mean, I don't think back then... Well, in the Disney universe of Cinderella, they're not wearing wigs, probably.
No. No, I don't think so.
It's confusing, if you want to get realistic about it. But
well, let's get to the moment you love, the music of the film.
I mean,
sorry
guys, that's like why I'm in it for Disney. Why
are you apologizing?
I just love it so much because you're always like non-musical moments, and I'm like,
well, listen. We're trying to look at this from all different angles. You want to tell the story of my all capital letters email?
Oh my gosh! I told you I'd throw you under the bus for that.
Cool. Yeah, I have no shame in this whatsoever.
So Jeff sent me an email to let me know what princess we're talking about today, and in all capital letters, he was like, "Tell me about your your favorite non-musical moment."
Yeah.
And there's another part.
I was like, and when we talk about the attractions, don't just say dark ride.
Don't say you want a dark ride.
No, I didn't say don't say you want a dark ride. I said if your answer is dark ride, make sure you have moments, specificity.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Listen, we're looking at this from all angles here.
That's true. That's true. I really do. I don't know. I'm like a one trick pony. I don't know. I'm just like, this is what I want.
I'm getting more
for all of them.
I'm getting more tricks out of you.
I'm sorry.
That's the job of DCTC. No, but the music of the film. What are some of your favorite music moments?
Well, like the Sing Sweet Nightingale. I love it so much.
I don't like that song. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I think it's so beautiful.
I like it as a moment in the film. But I don't know. It's not like my favorite song. I'd say it's probably my least favorite song.
I love all the harmonies in it. I think it's really pretty, like hearing her harmonize with herself, and she's kind of in this dream sequence, and I love it. I love the first sequence in the film when she's, singing "A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes." Yeah. So iconic. You like fall in love with her like that. I feel like that's the scene where you start to fall in love with the character. I feel like for me.
Yeah.
And so this is love. It's so romantic. It's so dreamy, and their voices are so beautiful. And I love a good Disney duet.
So This Is Love is so good that it kind of doesn't even feel like it's from this movie. If that it feels like a real song. They're all real songs.
I mean, like something that would be on like a top 40.
Yeah. Like A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes. I'm like, okay, that's from a Disney film, fairy tale. So This Is Love, I was like, I could totally picture that as like a pop song.
But you know what actually was on the top 40 was Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Was it really?
Yeah, I believe so. If I remember right, it was...
Salakatula, Michikabula, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Who was the artist? Is it...
I don't know, but that's some awesome
I'm sure you guys will
lyrics.
leave it in the comments. But it was like a pop track, and I think that was one of the... I think that was one of the first Disney songs that kind of transitioned from film to radio, I think. I'm really bad with the facts, guys, but I feel like I read that somewhere.
Okay. It's A Dream Is a Wish is a really beautiful song. I mean, I think that...
So iconic, too.
There's two of them that are so iconic that came from this. Bibbidi Bobbidi and A Dream Is a Wish. Like, you hear them in the parks constantly and all the fireworks shows and stuff. So they've really, like, lasted a long time if you think about it.
Timeless.
Yeah. But also this film, the background score is really good.
It's very much in the vein of Snow White, I feel like, where it's very... It's tangible. Mm-hmm. I feel like nowadays it feels a little more like baked in when you're watching our sort of, newer Disney movies. I don't know, for me, but in Cinderella, it feels like almost its own character.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's driving it so forcefully.
Yeah.
But that's a really good thing. Like, that's something it dates it quite a lot, but
it does, but I don't know. I kind of feel like the background scores of today's films just aren't as... I'm not going to say they're not as good.
Yeah.
They're not as memorable, though. Like, they're
more subtle.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I was watching...
Often.
Yeah.
Depends, but...
I was watching it. You know which one has a very powerful background score is The Lion King for more modern stuff. Love that movie. I love how that's like more modern, and it's now almost 15 years old at this point. I mean, God...
It's so crazy.
Where does time go? What am I talking about? Almost 15. It's over 20. It's almost...
Yeah, it was like...
Over almost 25 years now.
That's so weird.
It's at 23. That's insane.
Because I was like a kid when that came out.
23.
Simba was like my first crush.
Simba, or were you a big Jonathan Taylor Thomas girl?
Not particularly.
All right.
In it for Simba, which sounds weird, but I was a little kid. I also love Peter Pan.
If you want
Those two.
If you want a very random Jonathan Taylor Thomas Disney film, go watch Man of the House.
It's so good.
Oh, you know it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, great. I actually really like it. Actually, interestingly enough, we were talking about Seussical before this.
Yep.
David Shiner, the Cat in the Hat, is in Man of the House. He's the clown dad that doesn't talk. He's like,
What?
Do you remember that character in the film?
Yeah, vaguely.
That's the original
I need
Cat
to
in
watch
the
it
Hat.
again. It's been a really long time, but
It's really good.
Oh, wow.
Like Chevy Chase before he was like annoying.
all these connections.
Yeah. Anyway, totally random, but yeah, David Shiner. Anywho, yeah. So how about theme park representation? They have quite a bit of it. I mean, I think the most obvious is Cinderella Castle.
Yes.
That's pretty.
Which has, well, Cinderella in Florida.
Florida
yeah.
and Tokyo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they
I want to go so bad. Someday.
They both have Cinderella Castle. I mean, it doesn't get much more theme park representation than being a Disney castle.
Well, and also she's there. I mean,
She's there a lot,
To me,
yep.
that's huge that she,
The thing that it annoys me that we don't have Aurora around as much here, like in
by the castle?
just
Or
in general, like in the park.
Isn't she in Fantasy Fair?
She's-
Meet and greet?
She's
I'm not
there.
over there very
I don't know.
often.
I feel like in Florida, Cinderella, like it's her kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least back in the day, she used to lead or end the parades. Like it was very much known. This is Cinderella Castle.
Oh, that's
Here,
cool.
I don't know if people really get Aurora as much as they got Cinderella.
Until you go inside the castle and
Yeah. So
see everything in there.
So yeah, Cinderella Castle, which has, of course, the Dream Suite in there. Here at Disneyland, we have the Dream Suite above Pirates of the Caribbean, but at Walt Disney World, it's inside that castle.
Cool.
The Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Yes.
I was watching video of this, and I was like, oh my goodness, if this wasn't just ages 3 through 12, you would have done it by now.
Is it me?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, I feel like I've created my own at home.
I absolutely believe that.
I
yes.
have a pretty ridiculous makeup and wig and costume collection because, can we say obsession?
Do you have pixie dust that you throw on yourself?
I do have pixie dust.
There we go. So
No, I have lots of glitter.
You can just charge people to come to your place. You can be like,
No, but literally though, one of my favorite things to do is have my friends come over, and if they're modeling for Adorkable or something, I'm like, let me do your makeup and dress you up.
Oh
and
my goodness.
I just have a ball. It's really fun.
have a ball, get it?
Oh my gosh.
Lame.
But isn't the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique now hasn't it transitioned to Frozen?
No.
Really?
So
It's
here,
still-
they have a Frozen one on Downtown Disney at Disneyland.
Yeah.
At Disneyland, Disneyland.
Right.
The only Downtown Disney here in the States. But Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique
The
is
one
still
over-
in Fantasyland.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in Magic Kingdom as well as in Disney Springs.
Now, does the fairy godmother hang out there ever? Because amazing. And
Maybe? I don't
not
know.
over there very often.
I mean, I've seen Fairy Godmother do meet and greets over near there.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen
I
that.
love that she's there too. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, I've seen her both here at Disneyland and at Magic Kingdom. But yeah, this whole process it's a pricey process, but I gotta tell you, it seems like a pretty cool experience if you have a little girl.
Oh, if I were
an
a
unforgettable-
little kid, oh my gosh, you better believe I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
I was all about makeovers as a kid, and I never grew out of it.
If you don't know what Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is, it's simply a boutique where your little girl, ages 3 to 12, gets made over to be a princess. This comes with the dress, hair, makeup.
They do the dress? Don't they buy?
You can sell the dress. They'll either sell you the dress there, or you can come in your dress if you already have one.
Yeah.
I've just always been like, God, aren't these kids uncomfortable? But I guess kids don't really think about that. If I was going through a
in
park all
the
day,
costume?
last thing I would want is hair and makeup and
Oh no,
costume.
usually if there's a little girl in line, you're like, I know you've been to the Bibbidi Bobbidi
Oh,
Boutique.
for sure, yeah.
Because usually what they do is a big updo.
Yep.
They're not big, but they pull their hair back and they put tons of
Tons of
hairspray and
glitter.
glitter, it's shellacked down.
Yeah.
And it's usually a braid or a bun. And so it's probably, it's all out of their face and stuff. So I'm sure it's
All right.
It's comfy and easy. I don't see a lot of like girls with like their hair down. I think they probably have a couple.
They have like 4 or 5 different styles.
And do they put glitter on their cheeks or something?
They'll kind of do what you want, but yeah, there's a lot of glitter involved.
So cute.
And a nice price tag involved as well. But it's
can't blame them though.
It's a pretty cool experience, I would assume. And of course, for the boys these days, I think they do pirates and stuff.
They like face paint and stuff like that. Yeah.
So it's cool. Also at Magic Kingdom, there's Cinderella's Royal Table.
What's that?
I've never done this, but in Cinderella Castle, there is a restaurant. See, okay, this is the reaction.
How did I not know about this?
Well, here's the thing.
Did you hear all about the Beauty and the Beast?
This is exactly what I was going to say. So Cinderella's Royal Table has been there for a very long time. Like, many, many years. Maybe even opening day. I could be wrong about that, though. And it is interesting to me because the Be Our Guest restaurant, Belle's Restaurant, or Beasts, is...
It's not that old.
It's not that old, but everybody knows about it. Like, it's a really hard place to get into. I feel like Cinderella's Royal Table, which does character breakfasts and everything, is not as well known. I'm assuming it must still sell out because otherwise I feel like we would hear more about it. But it's interesting to me that, like, you cannot even know that this exists.
I mean, literally, like, I want to go there.
I've never been, as I said. I do want to go, though.
Have you seen pictures? Is it pretty?
I saw a video. Yeah, I've seen video of it.
I haven't seen video of it.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, obviously, because I didn't know it existed. So is it kind of like their Ariel's Grotto?
It's nicer.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's nicer than Ariel's Grotto.
I mean, I do like Ariel's Grotto.
Yeah, I like Ariel's Grotto, too. They have pretty good food there, too.
That's so pretty.
Ariel's Grotto, I haven't done them all, but at Disneyland, it's one of my preferable character meet and greets.
See, and I didn't go, I only ate there once, and I didn't go when the characters were hanging out. But it was so beautiful, you know, like I love the way it's designed and everything, but the food kind of made my tummy hurt a little bit. It's just too rich for me. I'm a sensitive stomach.
I ate breakfast
so I
there.
haven't gone back to eat.
I did do a character thing there for birthday one year, and I ate breakfast there at 3 a.m. on 24-hour day.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a good time to go, though. I bet it wasn't crowded.
I had a reservation.
Really?
Because I think it came with World of Color Fast Passes or something. I can't even remember.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so I had that reservation. And of course, as far as attractions are concerned, there's Prince Charming Regal Carousel, which is the carousel at Magic Kingdom. But so she's got quite a bit of representation in the parks, especially on the East Coast, I would say. Mm-hmm. But that begs the question, if you were going to make a Cinderella-inspired attraction, what would you do?
It's not a dark ride.
It's not a dark ride?
I wouldn't mind. I think that'd be great.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, you said not for it to be a dark ride, so I worked really hard to think of what I wanted.
You need to read the email again. I didn't say not a dark ride.
I'm kidding. No, I would love a dark ride that took you through the entire, like a Snow White. No, not Snow White. Like a Little Mermaid dark ride that takes you through scenes from the movie. However, what I don't know if this exists anywhere in any of the parks, and I know that in Fantasy Fair, like one of the old Fantasy Fair versions that they had when it was over by Magical Map, like the princesses would come out and dance and like teach the kids a dance. But I was like, Cinderella waltzes, and I thought it'd be so cute if they had something I've, like performing for kids for so many years. They love to dance and they love to learn dances and they love to learn how to be a princess. And so I don't know if this is like happening anywhere in the parks right now.
Cinderella teaching the waltz?
I think Cinderella teaching like a little, not like, I mean, I guess if adults wanted to do it too, but I imagine like for the kids, it'd be so cute
There'd be too much groping if there were adults getting involved.
I know. It's like, it would be like something for kids. It would be so cute. Like princess lessons. It would be like, but Cinderella seems like the perfect princess to lead that and to, teach like a little, like really generic, like waltz lesson for a little, I feel like it'd be so cute.
I like that. I
don't know, something dance related, because I feel like that scene is so, like when I was a kid, that scene, like imagining going to a ball, like a venue within the park where it like looks like the ballroom or something. It's really decorated, very like lush, I don't know. I think that's what I would want as a kid, I think, would be to experience the ball in
I like
some
that.
way,
I don't think it exists anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's get on top of it, Disney.
But it's kind of a random idea for a park. You know, it's like it's not a common
no
thing,
more random than Jedi Training Academy. If you can train Jedi, why can't you train waltzers, right?
Yeah.
Cindy's waltz training.
It'd be so cute.
That's the official name.
Or like it could be a generic like princess lessons where you teach them all different
etiquette,
but the fun parts, not just like it's like a table and they're like, this is your fork.
Balancing books on your head as you walk with proper posture. Yes. That's nice. For me, I really want to see like a full-fledged stage musical done like they did with Aladdin and Frozen over at Disney California Adventure.
Have they never done Cinderella on stage? Even back when it was, I'm thinking the Magical Map area, they never did Cinderella?
No, before there was Snow White there. I don't know of a Cinderella
and there was like
there.
that multi-princess the musical
but that was
show.
more of a meet and greet than anything.
Really?
Yeah, when the princesses were there, that was more of a meet and greet.
Oh no, before that, like when I was a little kid, there was like a show, or I don't know if I was a little kid.
Was that like
Fantalusion
or something?
They sang pieces of their songs, and they were like floats and stuff. But it was like, I remember it. I don't know. It was a long, long time ago. But yeah. I'm sure she was a part of that, but...
Yeah, no, I'd like a full, like, tell the full story, like, done as well as Frozen and Aladdin. Like,
but if they did it, like, do you think they would try to go live-action style with it and, like, change things? Or do you think it would be, like, classic? Because now the live-action is very much, I feel like, the favored version.
This segues into the next question. So
okay,
I just... No, that's okay.
Moving so long.
So I just said I would love to see a live stage musical version done in the parks. I'm thinking animated film version.
Yeah, that would be my preference.
But then it leads to, do you think this would make a good Broadway musical? And for me, I actually think no. And that's because the mice are too much of a driving force in this. Which, in a theme park, you could get away with, like, mascot-like characters or even large puppets.
Like Chip.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not great. So I don't think that they could do it on Broadway. Now, they did it in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. They were brilliant about it, saying that these objects are gradually transforming. Well, these mice are mice. Like, they're not going to gradually transform into mice, so they would have to be little mice. You can't pull that off on stage. And I feel like the mice are such an integral part of Disney's Cinderella.
Yeah.
That putting it on Broadway would not work.
Well, and it already exists as it's such a classic show. I love that show. The Julie
Rodgers
Andrews,
and Hammerstein.
Was in my own little corner, in my own little chair.
Which Disney did, which we'll get into in a second.
What?
You don't remember the Wonderful World of Disney?
Oh, the Brandy one.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I thought you meant something else. Okay.
No, the Brandy one. Brandy Whitney Houston.
But that's why I would agree with you, though, that they don't need to do it because it already exists in some form that's, like, pretty great.
Yeah. Speaking of sequels and spin-offs and everything, this is the territory that I get, like, don't touch Walt's work. And they did it twice. There is Cinderella 2. What's it called? Cinderella 2. Dreams Come True. Are you a fan?
No, I think I watched it maybe like a long, long, long time ago, but I think I blocked it out.
Yeah.
I don't even remember it.
Cinderella 2 is basically, let's see. They're writing a new... basically, the fairy godmother is like, okay, well, there's only one story of Cinderella. And the mice are like, well, let's write another one.
Oh, I have, yes.
And I'm like, well, no, nobody needs to write another Cinderella story.
But then, like, Anastasia is, like, turned good, right, in that one?
I've never seen it.
There's... I don't know if it's that one, because I know now I remember what that one is, but there was also like a short I think that they made. They released like a DVD.
Well, there is
like,
Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, where like they help Anastasia and then she becomes, I think it's Anastasia specifically, or maybe it's both of them.
I don't know.
But they become like friends, kind of, and it's like all is great, which is really nice. But it's just not.
Don't touch Walt's work. If you're gonna make
too modern now, you can't.
If you're gonna make Disney animated sequels, just don't touch Walt's work.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Like I don't know. So Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. Basically, they break the magic spell. What if it never happened? It's a time travel.
That's the one with Anastasia. She like gets if I remember, it's been so long. She gets like the wand from the fairy godmother. Anastasia gets the wand and like screws up the timeline or something.
Interesting.
I don't know.
So yeah, I would.
Cool concept.
The third one, from what I hear, is much better than the second. But frankly, you don't need to see them. Wonderful World of Disney, though, had Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, which we were just talking about with Brandy, Whitney Houston. I loved this so much.
Me too.
As a kid.
So
I actually have
much.
it. I have it sitting on my DVD shelf.
Really?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh.
Yeah, I am totally in love with it. They did a great job with this. If you're not familiar, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella is a very classic piece of musical theater. And Disney made a version of it for The Wonderful World of Disney.
And it's musical, like the classic, and
I would guess
Bernadette Peters kills it.
Yep.
As the stepmother.
Everybody's in it. Bernadette Peters, Victor Garber, Whitney Houston, Brandy.
Is it Oprah?
Not Oprah. Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, Whoopi Goldberg! Oh my gosh! Wow! Can we cut that out?
No, that's fantastic.
No,
I love
it's
it.
horrible.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh!
I
Whoopi
wish
Goldberg.
if Oprah were in it, let me tell you, then that would have made my day. I
mean, she would also be amazing.
She'd be a great fairy godmother even.
Yeah.
Cinderella should be so good. I love her. No, it's Whoopi. It's Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh,
Jason Alexander.
Yes.
There's a lot of great people in it. And
I just fell in love with Brandy in this, as
it's
Cinderella.
probably my favorite stuff I've ever seen Brandy
and
do.
I love her voice. She's so pretty.
And Whitney Houston was awesome.
I mean,
in
she's
it.
a goddess. You can't
She was great.
She could do anything.
Yeah.
She could play all of the parts, and I would just sit.
Yeah, she was one of the producers on it too.
Was she really?
Yeah. It was like her project. It was my introduction to Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. I wasn't familiar.
Really?
Yeah, I knew it existed, but I was not familiar with the music until that version.
I bet it was for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned the music before in theater classes or something, and I loved the music, but I don't. And I Julie Andrews played Cinderella in it was
made for TV movie. Yeah.
But I saw that way later though. But I don't
I've
know.
actually never seen that.
I think there's pieces on YouTube. I haven't seen the whole thing because I can't find the whole thing. But I've seen what.
Is that not available? Oh, I assume it would be available.
Maybe it is, but I've YouTubed it and stuff mostly.
Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. I love it. I prefer Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, not Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Which, by the way,
Do you want to go to the boutique?
can we just talk a second about how brilliant that name is? Can you imagine sitting in Imagineering and one day somebody's like, what are we going to call this thing? The Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. You're like, boom, done for the day. I'm going home. I just earned my money.
I love it.
That's solid naming. What else? And then, of course, there's the live action film, which came out not that long ago. What did you think of the live action one? Did you see it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I got to go and see it the day after it came out or something.
Nice.
But I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like Beauty and the Beast for me. I enjoyed it. I thought I was really entertained. I thought it was beautiful. I loved the prince in it. I loved all of the casting was great. But it's I just prefer the animated versions, and I didn't go crazy over it like a lot of people did.
Cinderella, I didn't go crazy over. Beauty and the Beast, I liked a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, they're about equal. I enjoyed them, but they're
Cinderella's not even a musical.
Well, I know that's why I didn't take to it.
But Beauty and the Beast is, therefore, plus. Yeah.
I don't want to say things.
I know exactly what you're thinking. It's fine. Moving on. Yeah, I saw Cinderella at the El Capitan. I was like, it was enjoyable. I liked it. It's just nothing I feel like I need to see again.
It was amazing and beautiful and every good thing. And I think if I were a little kid,
yeah,
I would probably be really nostalgic about it. But because I watched it as an adult, and I was one of the people too, costuming wise, I was one of the very few people that was not enamored with her dress. Everyone loved that Cinderella dress. And I did think it was beautiful, and the way it moved was the skirt was incredible and it was so well made, but it was I just wanted to see a historical representation. It was, again, they're so modern when they redesign these princess dresses. I'm it's not, I don't know.
It's not the right thing.
It wasn't my cup of tea. I thought it was beautiful, but I wanted to see animated Cinderella on screen. And her hair was down. I was put it up. Give her the headband.
Hey guys, it's Jeff, and I've got a question for you. Have you ever hired a travel agent and realized that instead of planning your dream vacation, they were planning their own instead? They just weren't listening to your wants and needs. Well, I've got a solution for you thanks to our Season 4 sponsor. Adventures Out There Travel specializes in making sure that you get to do exactly what you want on your next Disney dream vacation. What specific type of magic do you want coming your way on the Disney vacation? They'll find out and hook you up, taking care of all of the heavy lifting. They're a full-service travel agency specializing in cruises, tours, single-night stays, and of course, the Disney vacation of a lifetime. So go ahead and visit adventuresouttheretravel.com for your free, no-obligation quote. So, of course, then there's the real story that Cinderella, well, not true story, but the original source, let's say. And like a lot of these fairy tales, they come from a lot of different directions. There's kind of a lot of different versions that kind of become one at some point. Yeah. So, the real story, what do you know of the real story of Cinderella?
Oh, gosh, I've read so many interpretations that I literally, can't remember what the main one is, but Well, there's three balls.
There isn't just one ball.
Really?
Yeah, in the original story, there's 3 balls that they attend.
And was it originally a slipper, even?
Yeah, I think it was a gold, the glass
slipper. Yeah, I think the Into the Woods.
What I found during these Princess Ponderings is I've discovered that Into the Woods is if you're familiar with that musical, that is really based on what comes from the more
original version.
Yeah, so Fairy Godmother is a tree in her dead mother's grave. This is
I do recall,
which is used in Into the Woods.
Yep.
Instead of when it comes to fitting the slipper on people, they cut off their toes and heels.
Yeah,
in order to make
I do remember
fit.
that. Super gothic and
it's gross.
Grody.
Grody. The dad's alive, which is a huge difference. The dad is alive
the whole time?
Yeah, he's just kind of pathetic. He has this stepmother that he's married, and she basically calls the shots. And he's like, "Well, Cinderella, if your stepmother's telling you to do it, you better do it."
It sounds vaguely. I read a book somewhat recently that also kind of, you know what I mean? When you read retellings, you're like, "Wait, is that the original, or is the book, or the?"
It gets confusing because there's so many different versions. Yeah, there's so many versions. Now. So since there are 3 balls, the prince is like, okay, this girl keeps running away. I need to find out who this chick is. So he smears the steps with pitch.
Yes, I remember that.
Instead of the slipper falling off, it gets stuck. Once again,
and into the woods.
Into the woods. This is what happens. This is the best. Birds, Cinderella's friends, the birds peck out the stepsister's eyes.
Yes, I do remember.
That's awesome.
I was going to say there was something really gross about the stepsisters, and I was trying to remember what happened to them. But.
Yeah, their eyes get picked out.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's a common theme in it's a Brothers Grimm, right?
I'm sure that's one of the versions at least. Yeah, there were multiples. And then instead of chores, she had to pick lentils out of the ashes, and there's just all these little details. But yeah,
and the cinders.
Cinder. Her name means the cinders that come off the fire. So there's. It's related but unrelated. These Disney versions really take a lot of liberties and make them family friendly. But it's almost as if they're writing their own story. They stray so far in a lot of cases that it's quite different.
I feel like that's become the Disney norm.
Yeah.
The Disney version of.
Exactly.
It's completely a retelling,
but
reimagining.
For sure. But it's so interesting because, those are the versions that we all get to know. And, we're
it becomes our,
oh,
canon.
that's Cinderella. Yeah, Cinderella has talking mice in it. Of course it does. No, it actually doesn't.
Now that I think about it, did Disney ever explain her name?
No.
Yeah,
the Disney version does not.
The original song, I was when I listened to the song recently, rewatching it, the Cinderella, she's as lovely as her name.
Yeah.
And it's her name was meant to be an insult. It's not really a lovely name. It was given to her as a catty insult because her name was Ella.
Yeah.
But the cinder part, they were making fun of her. So I was that's kind of interesting that Disney was even trying to change her name from something that was an insult to something that's considered beautiful, which it is a beautiful name now to all of us, right?
Cinderella.
We think of glamour and grace when we think of the name Cinderella now.
And Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in
Boutique.
it. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Say that a few times fast. Now, there is one thing about this story that drives me crazy.
About the Disney or the original?
The Disney. And probably the original as well. Why, if everything changes back at midnight, does the slipper not?
Because
because there's no reason.
Okay, no. So this is how I took it. She takes the slipper and says, doesn't she grab the slipper and she looks up and she says, "Thank you, fairy godmother," or "Thank you." It's like a token. It's a remembrance for her that the fairy godmother left. It's like her souvenir.
I thought she was just thanking her for the night in general, but
No, but it's like this special keepsake that she gets.
All right. I mean, I guess I just have to accept that because it's not going to change anything. But it is a little weird where it's like, okay, the pumpkin turns back, everything turned back. Her dress goes away, all of the stuff, except for the slippers.
I did think that as a kid. I remember thinking, like, why didn't the slipper, you know? But rewatching it many times when I watch her sort of actions, it's like I think she takes it to be sort of a special, like, gift from the fairy godmother. But it's also, like, it's really sad. I get really sad at that part. I mean, obviously for, like, you know, the night's over, whatever, but, like, she's accepting that when she says that, it's like, this is it for me. Like, that's the best my life is ever going to be. Like, the way she acts is kind of like, I got my amazing night and I'm done now. And it's like, oh, that's so sad that, like, you think that
is sad.
That's all you got. Like, and she's so grateful, you know, when the fairy godmother is like,
she's a good person. Let's just put that out there.
She's so wonderful. But it's like, you deserve so much more than what you think you do.
You know what? I want to see Oprah play the evil stepmother. I think that would be super sassy, awesome, evil stepmother.
Well, she is amazing, so she could just
She can do it all.
Yeah.
Heck, she's Tiana's mom. So
But I also like the fairy godmother because you get a ball gown and you get right?
Listen, let's just
you get a carriage.
Let's just remake
you
Cinderella.
Get some slippers and you get some slippers.
Where Oprah plays every role except for Cinderella. I think that would work. And maybe not the mice. But I could totally see her as Lucifer. She's sassy. It'd be great. It'd be great. It's good times. We've lost our minds here. Anything else you want to...
Grumpy Cat should be Lucifer.
Oh, goodness. Don't even get me going.
Or Colonel Meow, R.I.P.
The cat died?
It's Colonel Meow.
Oh,
he's an Instagram cat.
I know of...
I'm sorry. I'm talking about Instagram famous cats right now.
I know of the ugly cat, or what are they called? Grumpy cat. Whatever.
Grumpy Cat. No, she's good. That's tartar sauce. She's doing great from what I can tell. Got to meet her. She's very soft.
Gotta be honest, I don't care. At all. Not in the least. Sorry, she's storming off. She's done. That is Tracy's breaking point. Me insulting Instagram cats.
Out of here.
Get out of here.
They have feelings too.
It's true. I'm sorry, Instagram cats. Anything else you would like to add about Cinderella before we move on to some trivia?
I mean...
Where does it rank overall in your whole princess lineup?
Don't make me do it.
Well, just in general.
No.
Is she toward the top? Is she like a middle one? Is she at the bottom?
She's towards the top.
She's toward the top?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very... I don't know if she's like one of my favorites, but I recognize her as perhaps even more so than Snow White, the most classic princess.
Yeah, she's...
And I think Cinderella Castle has a lot to do with that.
More iconic than Snow White. I think
so.
For a lot of kids too.
I really think it's the whole castle thing in Florida.
I think it's because Snow White is so scary that kids don't want to watch it over and over again.
So good.
So that's... I mean, I love it. We talked about it. It's amazing. But like, I think that kids take to Cinderella, and it's also a very like... It's such a, you know, it's iconic, but it's also like, oh, imagine like getting swept away and having this beautiful dress and going to the ball, like little girls, you know, little girls who love sparkles. Like, it's just...
Nice.
It's got all the things.
Well, Tracy, thanks for pondering Princess Cinderella with me.
Thanks for having me.
But that means it's trivia time! Hey folks, for today's trivia time, I have my friend Riley sitting next to me. Hello, Riley.
Hello, Jeff.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And today we're doing trivia about Cinderella. Cinderella is a film that, from what I understand, you have some story about.
Oh, I do. Well, originally when you told me we would be doing Cinderella trivia, I thought you were aware of this story. I thought that's why you chose it.
No.
And then I realized you have the Princess Pondering, you know, thing. So anyway... I was obsessed with Cinderella as a child. I would watch the...
I have a feeling there's a drag story coming out of here, but
There is.
Okay, let's hear it.
There is. No. So truly, I would watch the Brandy Whitney Houston Cinderella every single day.
Which is so good.
Because I just saw it sitting on your shelf, by the way.
Yeah.
I got very excited.
Which, by the way, was shot
Feel
over...
very welcome.
Was shot over at Universal Studios, right?
Oh, I do. And you know what else? This is totally getting sidetracked, but during Hairspray, our executive producers, Neil Marin and Craig Zaden, were the executive producers of Brandy Cinderella. So when I was on set for Hairspray, I cornered Neil Marin and started asking him questions about Brandy Cinderella. It was thrilling.
That's great.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
The stupid thing is they never came out with an official album, I don't think. I got it eventually. Like, I have it in my iTunes now, but it's not like the way that these live musicals now like release the CD and downloads.
Right.
They didn't do it for that. And I was like, this is like, in my opinion, that's the best version of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
I'm obsessed with it. I also really like, actually, by the way it was written.
Yeah.
It's, if you watch it again, like the story of like empowering her to just change her life, it's really sweet. The Whitney and Brandy storyline is awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, back to your Cinderella story.
So I was obsessed with Cinderella. And I had to go over to my grandma's house to watch the Disney animated version. But every time I did, that's all I did. So Halloween, 3 years old. 3 years old, I decided to go as Cinderella. And there's photo evidence which someday I may share with the world. Right now it's still in the family. But it was complete with a dress that I think I borrowed from my friend Anna. Jelly sandals as my glass slippers. Do you remember jelly sandals?
Yeah.
Throwback. And blue eyeshadow and clip-on earrings.
Okay, now I want to see this photo.
I will find it for you, definitely. But the best part about this, in my opinion, is that my brother that year, my older brother, was going as a football player that year and had no problem walking around with a 3-year-old Cinderella. And I just think it should be said that I was so angry when people thought I was a girl, because I was like, guys, it's Halloween. Like, I understood at the ripe age of 3 that it was dress up. Like,
you can do whatever you want on Halloween.
That's the point. You're supposed to like dress up as something. It felt natural to me.
If we ever do a partner's costume, I want you to be Cinderella and me to be Gus Gus.
Done. Ooh, that's a really good segue.
To some trivia?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to some Cinderella trivia. Let's hear it.
I had a couple questions from Cinderella.
Okay.
But do you know what Gus's name stands for? He has a full name.
Oh, Gustavo.
No. Oh, I'm so glad you don't know this.
Apparently I don't pay attention to character names.
Just animals in particular.
Is it Gus something? Or?
No, it is not even. There's no Gus in
It's not Augustus. It's
No.
Gus Gus is short for... They say this in the film?
They do. I think. When she's taking him out of the cage, I'm pretty sure she says it.
Oh.
You know, he gets trapped at the back of that. Yeah. He's my favorite mouse.
Augustine. No. I'm thinking, I'm clueless. What is it?
Octavius.
Oh.
Does that ring a bell?
Well, the minute you said Octavius, I just thought Octavia Spencer, which really has nothing.
That's actually not even remotely the same.
No, it's not at all. But I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. And I was like, Octavia Spencer. Oh, no. Different.
But I did see the glow in your face thinking about her, which is lovely. Like, you must be a fan.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Octavia. Now I want to go back and watch it and find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that was fun.
Well, I know you've got a couple more, but let me ask one.
No, please.
I'm going to ask one just in case you have it. Supposedly, Walt's favorite piece of animation ever is in Cinderella. Do you know what animation sequence I'm speaking of and who the artist was that created it? Walt's favorite animation piece ever.
Ever.
This is the story.
Okay, I have a guess.
Well, let's hear it.
Is it the bubbles washing?
No.
Oh,
that's
but that's
a wonderful
so beautiful.
guess, though. It's a great guess.
It's not?
It's not that.
Can I guess again?
Yeah, it's more classic than that.
It's not the glass slipper.
Nope.
Okay. That didn't count as a guess.
That's it. You can guess as many times as you want.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the movie.
It's classic.
Is it the running down the stairs and leaving the glass slipper?
No.
Okay, I give up.
It is the dress transformation sequence.
Oh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Sequence of turning from the ripped dress to the beautiful blue ball gown was supposedly Walt's favorite animation sequence of all
All
time.
the sparkles.
And do you happen to know who might have been the animator on that?
That I have no clue.
It was Mark Davis. Mark Davis, classic Disney, one of the 9 old men. And yeah, so that's cool. But ask me another. I know you had some more, some backups.
It's also mice related.
Okay.
Do you know, you might know this one. Do you know the name of the female mouse?
Gloria?
No. To be fair, there are 2, I think maybe 3. But one of them is like the main one, and that's
Perla.
Yes.
Pearl or Perla. Yes.
Wow.
You want to know why I know that?
Yeah.
Because if you're watching this, you will have seen I just closed my eyes because I just visualized my Walt Disney World autograph book as a child, and I have her autograph in the book. And that's where that answer just came from.
You can see her, by the way, if you go to Disneyland and have breakfast at the Plaza Inn.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is she
she's
part
at
of
that character breakfast.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was from some fun Cinderella trivia. Thank you so much once again, Riley, for coming back on the show.
Pleasure.
And guys, if you're in the San Francisco area, make sure you go to see Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney theatrical version, directed this time by Mr. Riley Costello, up at the Hill Barn Theater. Go to hillbarntheater.org to get info on that.
Please come see it.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that trivia. Of course, between episodes, you can connect with us on all sorts of social media, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, whatever you want. Go to DisneyCoastToCoast.com to connect with us there. But I think that's going to do it for us this week, yeah?
All done.
Until next time, folks, have a magical week. Bye.
Thanks for watching Disney Coast to Coast.